This is Tank's vlog for February 14th, 2018, wrapping up the day in sports. It's a Valentine's Day edition. It's an Ash Wednesday edition. It's the beginning of Lent. And let's begin. The Devils, hoping not to give up their playoff hopes as the period of Lent begins, needed desperately to win in Philadelphia today, and they were down late. But Taylor Hall scored with the goalie pulled and got the game to overtime. The Devils would eventually win the game in a shootout, and they needed to stop the bleeding. They've played terrible hockey last week, 4-game losing streak. They went from being in playoff position to now being in wild card position and barely hanging on. The Flyers are a team that they're pursuing in their division. It's a team they could easily catch. The Flyers sit in third, the Devils sit in fourth, and they could not afford to give up 2 points in that game. And they came through. They got the win, but they still got a lot to go. They still got a lot to go. I mean, with Carolina and Columbus playing well, their playoff position is tenuous at best. In Minnesota, it was the Wild beating the Rangers 3-2, ending the Rangers' brief 2-game winning streak. The Bruins continue to pursue the Lightning for the top spot in the East and top spot overall as they doused the Flames 5-2. It was the Lightning getting stunned by the last place Sabres 5-3. The Blue Jackets stung the Reeling Islanders 4-1. The Penguins doubled up the hapless Senators 6-3. The Hurricanes with a hat trick by Justin Falk blew apart the Kings 7-3. The Red Wings flew past the Ducks 2-1. It was the Predators 4-3 winners over the Blues in overtime. The Jets beat the Capitals 4-3 in overtime. Capital must have thought it was a playoff game. It was the Coyotes 2-1 winners over the Sharks. And the Golden Knights beat the Blackhawks 5-2. Stick a fork in Chicago. They are done. I'm hearing that any day now Joe Quenneville could get fired. And after a decade in Chicago, 3 Stanley Cups, it just tells you how hockey is sometimes. It's a what have you done for me lately sport. I say if Joe Quenneville gets fired by the Blackhawks, I say he gets a job like that. He might have to wait till the offseason, but I tell you what, I certainly would love Joe Quenneville coaching the Devils. You know, Joe Quenneville is one of the top coaches in the NHL. I think the Blackhawks will be absolutely foolish if they fire him after one bad season. I mean, what he's done to that team is just incredible. I mean, you win 3 Stanley Cups, you deserve you've earned a bad season, and the Blackhawks just got to retool next year and figure out what's going on. They got a couple of older players, and just that this season just never clicked. Things just never clicked in Chicago. I mean, it started from last year's playoffs when they got stunned by the Predators as the top seed. They were outscored 13-3. It was embarrassment. But I tell you what, I don't care how bad this year's been. If Joe Quenneville gets fired, I want him coaching the Devils. And little do people notice, Joe Quenneville actually was an original New Jersey Devil. He was on the 1982-83 team that came over from Colorado. In the NBA, as we inch closer to the All-Star break, it was the Raptors continuing their spot on top of the Eastern Conference, beating the Miami Heat 115-112. The Bucks beat the Hawks 97-92. It was a duel between Karl-Anthony Towns and James Harden in Minnesota, but it was the Rockets with 42 points in the fourth quarter, shooting down Minnesota 126-108. The new look Cavaliers continue to look like champions again, beating the Thunder 120-112. It was the Kings 114-109 winners over the Mavericks. And the Nuggets beat the Spurs 117-109. As Nikola Jokic got a triple-double. 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists. In Pyeongchang, weather continues to play havoc. As the Alpine races, the downhill was canceled today. It was postponed. They're going to have a glut of downhill events that they're going to have to catch up on because of all of these windy conditions, weather conditions, and just absolute cold. I mean, it's the Winter Olympics after all, and winter has been playing havoc in Pyeongchang, South Korea. The highlight for Team USA on Tuesday was Shaun White, as America won its fourth gold medal in snowboarding. So far, 5 of America's 7 medals are in snowboarding. It would be nice to see Team USA get some diversity here, start winning some other events, maybe get a downhill medal, maybe get a medal in speed skating sometime. Wouldn't that be nice? Our pairs figure skating looks like they're not even in contention, so that's not even worth talking about. But Shaun White, it's his 3rd gold medal. He won gold medal in the half pipe in 2006, 2010. In 2014, he struggled, though. He got blamed the half pipe in Russia, said it wasn't good, yada, yada, yada. He finished 4th, but this was totally redemption for the Flying Tomato. And not only is it his 3rd career gold medal, it's the 100th gold medal won by the United States in the Winter Olympic history. So that's a little bit of a milestone. So that's going to be interesting. Now, I don't know. Shaun White's getting a little old now, but he's also a competitive skateboarder. And in 2020, I understand that skateboarding is going to make its debut in the Summer Games. So it's going to be interesting to see if we have any cross-Olympic athletes that do, because a lot of the snowboarders skateboard in the summer and snowboard in the winter. So it's going to be interesting to see if we get anyone that could win a gold in snowboard and win a gold in skateboarding as the Olympics turn into the X Games. So, today's 3 stars are Justin Falk of the Hurricanes, who had a hat trick, James Harden of the Rockets, and Mark Scheifele, who had the game-winning assist in overtime as the Jets beat the Capitals. Today's Valentine's Day birthday shout-out goes to Jim Kelly, who turns 58. And we take a look back at the saga of Dan Jansen, who 30 years ago, after hearing the death of his sister, tried to compete in the 500-meter speed skating event at the Calgary Games and went down. I mean, it was just a totally rough period for him. 4 days later, he went down again in the 1,000 meter. In 92, he came close to another medal, but failed. And then in his last chance, 1994, he finally won. And then carried around his baby girl around the ice. And the girl was named after his sister. So check out the full story of Barstool Sports and Sports Encyclopedia, where sports history lives. Good day.